Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance.
Financial services.
Insurance.
Financial services.
Now when I say Nationwide, you say is both. Nationwide.
Is both.
Nationwide.
Is both.
For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Lowe's knows Sundays are for football, so tackle your home improvement projects by Saturday and earn your Sunday with great deals on Cobalt power tools, Pit Boss grills, LG appliances, and more. Then once your to-do list is done, get ready to kick back, relax, and enjoy the game. Shop in-store or online now and earn your Sunday with help from Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
This is Julian Edelman from Games with Names. As a fellow dude, do you ever get that not-so-fresh feeling in your butt? That's because you're probably using the dry stuff to wipe. Wet, extra-large, flushable dude wipes get what toilet paper leaves behind in your behind. You wouldn't clean the tail end of your truck with dry paper towels, so why would you wipe with dry toilet paper? Wetter just cleans better. There are no more dingleberries, no more itch and irritation, just a deep, down the seam, confident clean. So don't fumble the ball with toilet paper. Stop being an a-hole to your b-hole. Drop the toilet paper. Available on Amazon and major retailers nationwide. Dude wipes, best clean, pants down.
Among the many great linebackers in the history of the Carolina Panthers is Jon Beason, who played with Carolina from 2007 to 2013. 3 times a Pro Bowl player, never made a Super Bowl with Carolina, but helped in the run-up to get there for Super Bowl 50 in the previous years. We'll talk with the former University of Miami star Jon Beason today.
30 seasons of Panther football, a celebration of the players, coaches, and other key figures who've contributed to the organizational success.
Jon Beason joining us now. When you think about Panther linebackers, I mean, he's right up there with the all-time greats, including the current general manager, Dan Morgan, of course, another one of your Miami guys. And you think about, obviously, Luke and TD and so many great ones. This is, you talk about linebacker U's at certain colleges and so forth, John, to have you, and your last year with the Panthers was 2013, and kind of that build-up of that ascent as we get towards 2015 in the Super Bowl season there. But first of the division titles, 3 in a row, came that year in 2013. What did it mean to you in your years playing as a Carolina Panther as you look back at that now?
Well, I think I'm proud. You know, I think a lot of people, when they say they regret something, I think it's because they feel they could have did more, something more. And from my perspective, I think first off, everybody I played with would tell you as a teammate, I gave everything I had. You know, I prepared. I was an Iron Man for 4 years, not missing a snap.
You did not miss a game in the first 4 years.
Yeah.
Didn't miss a snap.
Didn't miss a
not
snap
a game,
for 3 years.
Not a snap for 3 years.
And I'll give you another stat, and this was told to me, so, you know, don't hold me to it, but I was the only player in the NFC South for 3 years to not miss a snap. Offense, defense. So it was like, really? You know? So, but I played that way, and when you come into the league and we still had 2-a-days at the time, even though it was 2 on and 1 like that. You go out to practice and you learn that there's something called vet days. I never had a vet day, but it's the position. We are conditioned as linebackers, especially if you're a play caller. We play 100% of the snaps. You lead 100% of the practices, and from my perspective, it was always about setting the tempo. Even if it was a walkthrough, I still wanted to move at a faster pace, you know? And when it comes down to leading, you have to do it all the time. That's the pressure. That's why there's great players, but people don't lead because they have to do it all the time. And most people want the leader to kind of be a little loose so they can relax when they want to. So I think looking back at it, you know, my time here, one, it was a dream come true. I'm a Panther for life, and it was a great ride.
And that's great to hear. And we did talk with you last year. We were doing podcasts and so forth because obviously, and there were a number of Panther players. There was a change in the management with the general manager, and you were kind of that era where they were ushering out some really talented veteran players and not wanting to pay them or whatever the reasons, bringing their own players and so forth. But for you, you continued to play great ball after that. What has been maybe the reconciliation for you to be able to come back and always be a part of this Panther family?
Well, I'll say this. Coming back is probably a small part of it. I think the biggest part of coming back is the familiar faces. Organizations are ran by people. Games are played by people, human beings, relationships. That's where it's different. Even like now trying to keep up as a fan, you don't know anybody, right? There's no connection. Everyone's gone. Now it's my 10th year out of the league. You see the transition, and then when you see, your former guys, all the feelings come back, the good ones, the bad ones. But at the end of the day, the relationships are still there, and it's just like getting back on a bike.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great group, and now we're heading into a 31st season, so a lot of years of Panthers football, and you were part of those early years, and you were there at the beginning of what was the Ron Rivera, Cam Newton part of it, and again, we mentioned by 2013, your last season here, first of the division titles. What about that couple of years there when you had a new coach, new quarterback, and the growing time for this franchise, getting to where they would finally be in 2015?
Well, I'll say this. I think that if I throw out the names of the guys on that team in 13, and a lot of those guys were still on the team at 15, even if we call, Luke, we call baby boy when you really start to come of age, and Cam coming into his own. But a lot of those guys were here previously in 2013. So the core guys, the leaders, the backbone, the guys who are the true professionals, they were here. And I think that, when you go through that cycle of a new coach and a new GM, you look at the roster and you say, man, we can win with this guy, this is, and that's, to me, that was the foundation. That's what kind of got them over the hump. And then, you draft well, and all of a sudden, you're a perennial playoff team.
For you as a player, as you look back at your career, when the Super Bowl rolled around and your former teammates, and it wasn't immediate, as we said, it's 2 years later, as you're watching that Super Bowl 50 and watching the Panthers, what's in your heart as you watch that? Because, as you said, it's the relationships. So what was that feeling like for you? So
I think when you become, somewhat of a household name in the NFL, not just locally for your team, all of a sudden you go to Super Bowl appearance and you learn that there's a hard rule, and the rule is you don't go to a Super Bowl, to the game, until you play in one. So knowing that I was retiring, physically couldn't do it anymore, and that being the same year that they went to the Super Bowl, I was able to attend the game and sit right next to Thomas Davis's wife, Kelly, and be a Panther fan, wore Panther blue, and experience it from that perspective. It's like, wow, like that was a blessing from God. As much as I wanted to be a champion, I mean, that was my sole motivation, my purpose as a player. The reason why you drive, you push so hard and fight through the injuries and the tough times and the hot days is to be a champion. And what would have happened if they hadn't made it to the Super Bowl, I would have eventually went to one, experienced the game, and it would have been truly as a fan, whereas I was looking at it the night before and even during the game, like the confetti's going to drop. My boys are going to win a Super Bowl. They're going to be champions of the world. And I have access through my brother, Thomas Davis, to be on the field and experience it, firsthand. And that makes me emotional still.
Yeah, I could hear it in your voice, and well-deserved. And, you're really remembered by fans here. When you say you left it all on the field, I mean, that's kind of a cliche phrase. Like, you embodied that, and you lived that. You gave your body, and you could have had a longer career if you hadn't played that way. I'm going to ask a question sometimes you know the answer to already. I assume you wouldn't change a thing about the way you played.
No, because that's what's required. Anything great, right? You want that massive test. I want the guy across from me or the team across from us in a Super Bowl to be considered the best team ever assembled. They can't be beat juggernauts, And that's the goal, So getting a chance to live a dream, to compete and chase it, I think it really drove me. I mean, I go back to my high school days. We're undefeated, 11 shutouts out of 15 games, and 23 guys getting scholarships, and we lost the state championship. And I think that really, really set me on fire. And sometimes being deprived of something, that's when you really strive. So I said never again. But it is a team game, and it has to be in a deck of cards. The best team doesn't always win.
Yep.
So, which is the beauty of sports.
No, if you look at the box score, it looked like the Panthers won that game. It's just the turnovers and certain key moments.
Watching it, I could talk about a few plays, and people go, "Oh, don't be a conspiracist" and all that. The flags that were thrown, and then I teach fans this all the time. If you sit down and you watch a game with me, I'm like, that was holding, right? They didn't throw it. But they're not going to talk about that on the post-game show. The calls that were not called in that game, right at the fringe, the 50-yard line, and it seemed like, hey, that was pass interference against Teddy again. Hey, that was pass interference against Teddy. Hey, that was okay, I get it. We got to let the GOAT, we got to let Peyton go out on top. I mean, didn't throw a touchdown. I think he threw for 140-something yards.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Against a stellar defense. Obviously, the Panthers' defense was just stifling. They were unbelievable. And then they just had everything they needed. The offensive line was older, Gross, Khalil, and then I mentioned Teddy Ginn again because those are the ones like, hey, that's pass interference on third down. That extends the drive. Now we're at least in field goal range. Cam breaks a tackle or whatnot. And then the craziness with the punt, it's just it was tough to watch.
Yeah, for everybody involved, no doubt about it.
But
a great season overall.
But a great season, man. But a great season. And it just tells you, like, you think you're going to go back, and my best season in my career was my second year. We're 12-4, tied for the best record in football in 2008. And we lose the first playoff game here to the Cardinals.
That was a hard game to watch, too. Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, and the team we beat right here in October or September, late September. And you're like, we'll be back next year. And then never play in another playoff game. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's really tough.
But overall, great years, great experiences.
Yeah.
And we love coming back and having you guys visit with us as well. Jon Beason, thank you so much.
Thank you.
30 seasons of Panther football.
This is Julian Edelman from Games with Names. As a fellow dude, do you ever get that not-so-fresh feeling in your butt? That's because you're probably using the dry stuff to wipe. Wet, extra-large, flushable dude wipes get what toilet paper leaves behind in your behind. You wouldn't clean the tail end of your truck with dry paper towels, so why would you wipe with dry toilet paper? Wetter just cleans better. There are no more dingleberries, no more itch and irritation, just a deep, down the seam, confident clean. So don't fumble the ball with toilet paper. Stop being an a-hole to your b-hole. Drop the toilet paper. Available on Amazon and major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes, best clean, pants down.
Whether you're kicking off a campaign, gearing up for an event, or suiting up your team, Forimprint has the promo products to move your brand down the field. With thousands of customizable options like premium apparel, drinkware, tech totes, and giveaways, it's easy to score fan favorites that deliver impact. You'll get expert support, speedy delivery, and their 360-degree guarantee, so you can be Forimprint certain your order arrives exactly right on time. Explore more at forimprint.com.
Forimprint, for certain.
Get almost anything you need delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get chicken parmesan delivered. A little escape? No. A delicious bowl of grapes? Yes, that. An afternoon stroll? Sorry, no. A burrito bowl? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.